so many businesses and so many brands and so many strategists, they see new technology, they see new platforms, and they immediately turn and they say, we need one of those. How do I get one of those? And the worst question I can ever have gotten when I was a consultant or from a potential client was, I really want to start a podcast, but I don't know what I want to do it about. If that is your approach to podcasting or honestly any content creation strategy, you've probably already lost. Doing something wrong is way worse than not doing it at all.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast, the #1 source for proven solutions to all your marketing challenges.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Today, we're diving into the world of storytelling. Not only storytelling, but technology and digital connection with a true podcasting pioneer, Mathew Passy. With over 15 years in the podcasting world, including 8 years producing for the Wall Street Journal Network, Mathew has helped countless entrepreneurs and brands and creators harness the power of audio and video to tell their story and grow their influence. He's the founder behind podcastconsultant.com. ThePodcastConsultant.com now leads custom podcast solutions and is the voice behind podcasting tech. But Matthew's not just here to talk about podcasting. He's here to show us how to make it easy to create content that converts. And he's bringing a powerful tool to the table today, Contap, an innovative NFC technology that bridges real-world connections into digital relationships in seconds. Whether you're networking at an event or trying to make it easier for your audience to connect, Contap might just be your new secret weapon. So stick around. We have a special offer as well for the listeners, for all of you listeners, if you want to get involved with Contap creators. So say hello, Mathew.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
So, podcasting expert. Obviously, I could probably use some help there. So let's get into that and tell us how you rolled into that industry of becoming an expert in the podcasting world, being a consultant for podcasters. Tell us about that service. But give us the elevator pitch of how you got where you're at, Mathew.
Sure. So the quick version is I used to work in radio way back in the day for a New Jersey talk station. And around 2008, the iPhone came out and the first iteration of the podcast store hit. I kind of had heard of podcasting, but this obviously made it more mainstream, a little bit easier to access at the time. And I turned to my boss at the station at the time and I said, we could probably do something with these. And I was told if it doesn't cost him anything and he doesn't have to do any more work, go for it. So I repackaged our early morning 5 a.m. newscast and put it out as a podcast for the station. After that, went to work for the Wall Street Journal, as you mentioned. They were ahead of the curve, so I was doing a mix of radio and podcasting with them going back to 2008 and thought I would be doing that forever. They decided at the end of 2014 to get out of the radio business and laid off everybody on the audio team, including the podcasters, which not great timing, given that Serial had just come out and the world was, ablaze with podcasting talk. But 2015 rolls around, trying to figure out my next move. And folks who I used to interview all the time at the Journal and used to publish podcasts for reached out and said, those podcasts were actually pretty useful. Could you help us? And I said, sure. So I took out my computer, started helping folks. And short time thereafter, the podcast consultant was born. And for 8 years, I was helping clients launch, edit, produce, publish, promote, and for lots of other folks, just fix and streamline their existing podcast, which I did until I sold that company 2 years ago in 2023. And recently restarted Custom Podcast Solutions so that I can get back into the space and help people out in all sorts of ways, to be able to tell their story and get it out there into the world.
So what would you say? How has the content creation game evolved during that time? And what do you think most businesses still don't get about it?
Two very, very good questions. I'm actually going to take the second one first. The second question, what businesses don't understand about it, is that so many businesses and so many brands and so many strategists, they see new technology, they see new platforms, and they immediately turn and they say, we need one of those. How do I get one of those? And the worst question I can ever have gotten when I was a consultant or from a potential client was, I really want to start a podcast, but I don't know what I want to do it about. if that is your approach to podcasting or honestly any content creation strategy, you've probably already lost. These are not things that you have to have. And even though many people will say, oh, you need to do this, this is important. Like, yes, they're important, but doing something wrong is way worse than not doing it at all. So I really would prefer businesses and brands and anybody else who's thinking about content creation not think about, oh, we need to, try the next stage of content creation. We just need to figure out what we want to put there. They need to figure out what is the story that they want to tell and then figure out which medium is the best way to do it. Now, that takes us back to your first question, is how has podcasting evolved? The main thing, obviously, the word on everybody's talking about is video. So even though video podcasting has been around, pretty early on in the podcasting game, it really has had this massive explosion of growth. And, the video content has been around and has been very strong for a long time. And more recently, video and podcasting have sort of been conflated to be the exact same thing. So now anybody who puts up content on YouTube where somebody is talking calls it a podcast, even though it doesn't really fall in that traditional sense. That being said, video has become crucial to podcasters because, to be honest, podcasting is not the most marketable content. Is like an actual podcast episode is not really an easy thing to share on social media in a way that will get people to actually listen right away and subscribe and engage with you. Video, on the other hand, does that really well. And so even if you're not putting out full video episodes, you have to have some sort of video strategy in the mix in marketing and growing your podcast, your audio only podcast, and truthfully, most things that you're trying to promote out there in the world today.
Yeah, that's something deep to think about here on how you're leveraging both the audio only and or video or combo, which I want to dig into because, I'm in that same boat, right? I've got both the YouTube channel, it's on Rumble, and I've got all the podcast audio only networks. And I do this for a combination of two things. One, I enjoy meeting and interviewing smart people like you and learning from the individual interviews and the contacts and the network I make from these interviews. And then my goal is that it be bringing this value that I get from it to our community of tens of thousands of business owners that use Marketing Boost or have in the past, et cetera. So when I'm sure you've dealt with B2B type podcasters like me, what kind of advice do you give to anybody who either has a podcast like this or is thinking about it or wants to be interviewed on a podcast to get their story out? But if in a case like mine, what are some of the best ways to promote the show?
Well, I think actually you said two things right there that were spot on. And I think you said them in a way that you were implying, yeah, this is how I use it. I don't know if it's great, blah, blah, blah. But actually the way you're using it is excellent. So one, a lot of people assume that you have to podcast because you have to grow an audience, right? If I'm putting out this content, I need thousands or millions of downloads and listens, and I need to be able to sell ads and yada, yada, yada. I know so many good podcasters who actually don't care about the audience. They care more about the guests and the relationships they are able to build by having a platform. In fact, one of my first clients, when he first started, literally the call he got was, yeah, I'm thinking about doing 7 or 8 of these episodes. Honestly, I don't care who listens. They're just people in my space who I want to connect with. And they're not just going to pick up the phone and talk to me out of nowhere. But you invite them on a podcast and all of a sudden it's a completely different thing. And so one, I think that's a great strategy, especially in the B2B world, because lots of businesses, lots of business owners are very busy and don't necessarily have a lot of time to listen to all these different podcasts. They're too busy doing their job. But when you have a platform like this and you can invite people to come on, and then the people you come on, you build relationships with, and then they refer people to come on the show, you can do so many more powerful things with that growing network and that growing community that honestly would be a bigger boost than if you got 10,000 downloads and, a couple of sales trickling in, for the product that you're trying to advertise. So that's one thing I think you're doing really well and really smart that others should be following. Two, you mentioned the most important word when it comes to creating content: value. The reason why value is so important is because, one, there are obviously millions of podcasts out there, millions of YouTube channels out there, but also millions of books, millions of, TV shows, videos. There's millions of things that we can do with our time. And time is so important, right? Time equals money. You can't get back time, right? It's a resource that you are never getting more of. It's always diminishing. And so even though we give out podcast content, we give out YouTube content, we publish the stuff on social media and it goes out to the world for free, we are still asking people to invest time to consume it. And so the folks who do this really, really well are the folks who know that they have to give the audience something. They have to give them value in order to get that time from them. So if you make it very clear, this is the value proposition that I am offering you, if you take time to listen to my content and then you follow through on that and you commit to that and you provide that, that is a key to being successful in any content creation strategy, whether it's podcasting, video, social media, even your writing, right? Everything you do, people have to invest time to consume it. So make it something useful to them and they'll keep coming back for more.
Awesome. Folks, we'll be right back. I'm going to take a break here from Marketing Boost, our main sponsor. Don't go away. I got a hell of a lot of more questions for Mathew as soon as we get back.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
You just heard from marketingboost.com. Folks, if you're new to the show listening to this, Marketing Boost, what we do is serve small business owners like you. We provide you with a wow factor to be able to provide your clients with amazing high perceived value, incentives, rewards, and perks for an amazing, incredibly affordable price. So go check out marketingboost.com and learn how you can be giving away complimentary hotel stays to exotic locations like 5 nights in Puerto Plata, Cancun, all inclusive. You had Mexico destinations, you name it, 30 U.S. destinations and 130 destinations around the world, plus hotel savings cards and restaurant savings vouchers that you can entice your clients to show up for webinars, show up for your Zoom calls, buy your product B to go with product A, pay for 12 months in advance. There's all kinds of ways that we show you how to use them on Marketing Boost, on how to use these incentives to grow your business, generate more leads, and close more sales. We're back here with Mathew, and want to talk about why you say that live streaming is the key that most of us, like myself, are not doing very often. Tell us about that, and how and why is live streaming so much more powerful than standard pre-recorded podcasts?
Well, I think, yes, I think the future is definitely live streaming and more people are going to be jumping into it and thinking about it. One of the main reasons that I say that is because when you post content, and I assume you have a Facebook page for your business, and I assume Marketing Boost has a Facebook page for their business, you post content and you hope and assume that when you post content to a page, your followers will see that content. But what we've discovered is that Meta is like, maybe I'll serve that up to your audience. Maybe it'll be interesting enough. Maybe you'll get enough likes and comments that, this content that you've put on your page will start to get out there and reach more people and grow. But the truth is, every time you post something to a company page on Facebook, the first thing Facebook says is, would you like people to see it? Let's see a little bit of money, right? They want you to boost. They want you to pay to advertise and do all those different things. Whereas if you go live on any of the social media platforms, almost to an annoying degree, people are notified about it, right? I get notifications all the time from Twitter, from Instagram, from, look at my Facebook notifications. So-and-so went live. Like, I don't care, right? Like I followed so many pages on Facebook and it's like, so-and-so is going live. I didn't ask, but they're telling you this, right? They are serving that up as notifications. They have shown their hand and told us that if you go live, we are going to give that type of content priority in notifying your users and notifying the people that are out there. So that's one big reason why live, I think, is an important aspect. And the truth is, it's kind of going to play into the second, which is going live kind of forces you to have a different energy. I've done live radio, I've done pre-taped radio, I've done live video, I've done pre-taped video, right? Even though people are really good now at performing pre-tape stuff as if they're going live, there's just something to that adrenaline boost that comes when oh, people are actually going to be watching. It does tend to bring out a different type of energy. It forces you to sort of be more on your game. Now, admittedly, for some people, that live factor is going to be super scary, and that's a hurdle that they won't be able to overcome. I understand. The beautiful thing is today you can pre-tape stuff, and then using third-party platforms, you can stream pre-recorded content as live. So you can get the advantage of having it polished and edited and pre-taped, but still get that boost from telling the platforms, hey, I'm live, tell my audience, right? Send out those notifications. So that's one way to think about it. The other thing is the post-production work. We are in a world where so many people are looking for their content to be so polished, right? We used to, when I was running the production company, we edited out every like, right, kind of whatever. And for those clients, that's what they wanted. That's what they needed, right? It helped their product. Their listeners appreciated it, and that's great. But for most people, the cost and the energy and the effort to polish your content might actually be a detraction from your audience. Your audience really is trying to find authentic beings and brands and people to engage with. And when you go live, that's it. They get the unpolished, authentic you coming out of the camera and coming, off of the microphone. And so they are more forgiving of people saying, or thinking or tripping up their words or making a mistake, which means you can go live, record the thing, and it's out there. You don't have to go back and re-edit it and, send it through the production machine. It's just out there for the world to see. And you know what? We're okay with that. The audience will survive hearing you say and a few times, as opposed to spending time for it to be completely polished. And unfortunately, in some cases with, new AI editing tools and with sloppy editors all over the place, really actually making something sound more unnatural by over editing it.
So yeah, speaking of ums and ahs, right?
But look, we had a good laugh about it, and that's a great moment now that people will appreciate.
Yeah, right. So for someone who feels overwhelmed by technology, not good in front of a camera or a microphone, do you have any go-to strategies that help simplify that content creation?
Honestly, nothing is ever going to replace or take over the tried and true strategy of practice. Practice, practice, practice. When people are asking about starting a podcast or starting a video, or honestly, when they're trying anything, starting a new business, most of the advice I've ever gotten and given from, various experts and whatnot has always been just start, right? Just get started. You can't know what you don't know until you do it. And so for people who are afraid to get behind the microphone, they hem and they haw and they try and practice without it being live. And you're never going to fix it until you actually do it. You have to force yourself to go through it, get all the butterflies out of your system, get the nervousness out of the way, figure out what your tics are, and start working on it. Any good piece of media that you consume, anything that's lasting, any television show that you've watched that's been on air for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, right? Any podcast that's been on for 5+ years, go back and check out some of their early content. And what you will find is, compared to what they are doing today, it is probably hot garbage. It probably looks terrible and sounds terrible and is sloppy and all the different things that if you were to judge it today, you'd be like, ugh, why do we ever accept this? We accepted it because it was it was quality content. It provided value. So if you can provide value, you can provide quality content, right? You're not wasting people's time with it. They'll get over the fact that you don't have the best mic, that you stammer a little bit, that you hem and haw when you're talking. And as you get better, your fans will like appreciate it, right? They'll almost have like this pride. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm so proud of Mathew. I've watched him from day one and only hearing him getting better and better and better," right? Like they'll be part of that journey with you. So unfortunately, the only real way to get better at all this stuff is to start doing it and start doing it wrong and figuring out what doesn't work and then fixing it. That said, there are other ways that you can, make this a lot easier. One thing that we offer and something that we used to offer in our production company was remote recording assistance. Because there are folks who, they are very, very smart at what they do, but they're not media people. I don't expect everybody to understand how media works, how, recording audio and video works, lining up a camera, all those different things. These people, and they're so smart that they're too smart to remember to like hit record. And so in a situation like that, you can hire someone to come on and say, "Hey, Marco, you're great behind the camera. You're focused on the content. You want to pay attention to the guest. You've got questions. Like, put your energy and effort into good content. We'll make sure it's recording. We'll make sure there's a backup. We'll make sure the inputs are correct. We'll just sit here and you won't have to worry about that." That's one thing that we can offer to, especially high profile or companies and guests and individuals, anybody who doesn't want to worry too much about the tech itself, and just wants to focus on good content, right? We can kind of handle that remote recording assistance and make sure that you look and sound great. And that could be whether we're in, on location with you, whether you're in our studio, or even if it's, even if you're recording with somebody else over a platform like Riverside or Zoom, we can be sitting at our computer and desk and help you and, make sure that you can just focus on good content.
This is at Sweeter Recording or Sweet Recording.
Sweet Recording. Yep. Sweetrecording.com. Yeah.
I'm sharing the screen. If your folks are watching on YouTube, we're on sweetrecording.com. Give you a preview of Mathew's website. See his picture right there up on the screen. Remote engineering support, record like a pro, and help you set up the whole thing. I should probably have you guys restructure everything I do.
Well, that's something else that we have coming up now is we are there's the technology has advanced so greatly, and we're actually in a place now where we can build a studio in someone's office or even at their home, and it has built-in remote support. So you can have your own studio, right? You don't have to come to ours or hire someone to come to you or whatnot. We put a studio in your house. You can, train you on how to use it. But you could say, listen, 90% of the time I'm fine. I've got an A-list celebrity coming on and I don't want to mess this up. And we can come in and we can remote support record for you, from anywhere in the country.
Where are you guys based out of?
We're in South Jersey, just outside Philadelphia.
All right. And you help these home office setups like anywhere or mostly in your area?
No, I mean, we'll travel anywhere. We have 2 studios that we're getting ready to build, one down in Florida, another one up in Boston, third one on the way, potentially in Texas. We're not afraid to travel to bring these things to you. Obviously, it's easier to do it here and cheaper for anybody, but we have no problem bringing our work to wherever you are.
Cool.
And I'm glad you did this because I realized I have 2 comparison images right there on the screen. I got to get rid of one of them. So this is our studio here in South Jersey that we have. And you'll see if you drag that slider along, how it started and what's been built up. And a lot of credit goes to my partner, Joe, who's just, a mad scientist in terms of design and, being able to really build something special for people.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. So here's another question for you. By the way, I would recommend, and let me ask your opinion. The way I got started at doing this was I figured that I would add to my repertoire of marketing for Marketing Boost and other companies that I represent was to get interviewed on third-party podcasts first. So I had signed up for some of these services that are available very affordably, like Podmatch and I forget all the other ones that are out there, but there's a bunch of them that you can sign up for. Put your story, your bio, and reach out to people, or let them reach out to you. And you may find, start looking for third-party podcasts where you can get yourself interviewed on, and that can be the practice that you were talking about. Practice makes perfect in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, by being invited on other people's shows, watching how they do it, etc. And you're telling your story, and you're getting you're getting the backlinks, you're getting people when they search your name and brand. Those videos and audios are going to start showing up all over Google, etc. So even if you're not seeing instant gratification as far as new business from these interviews, they will over time as you also begin to build your authority, your brand as your face, as the expert in whatever it is you do, starts to appear next to your name and brand when people do searches. So now it's not just your website that pops up, it's your interview on this podcast, interview on another podcast, your own podcast, and all of a sudden you begin to appear to be the expert that hopefully you are.
It's funny you bring that up because I remember having a few clients come to me. One in particular, a woman, she was opening up her own pet store. And she said, I'm in the middle. We're literally, finishing the construction of the store and getting the supplier, all the stuff. And we want to start a podcast. I'm like, no, you don't. You do not want to. You are starting a business. You're literally building out a physical location. You already have what amounts to, basically 2 full-time jobs trying to just run, open this business. And to be honest, like a really good podcast could be another full-time job. You ain't got time for that. I would suggest exactly what you just said, Marco, which is go put yourself on other podcasts. You have no audience built up when you start a podcast. You are hoping people subscribe and hoping people listen, hoping people follow. Whereas I can spend, an hour chatting with someone like you and be in front of your audience and, get exposure that I can't get from watching my own podcast right away. I can get that practice, but more importantly is there could be real authentic relationship building, not that this is, like a political endorsement, but you having me on your show and us having this conversation and us seemingly getting along and, laughing and talking and having a great conversation, that is you almost providing an endorsement of me to your audience. And I can't guarantee that when I first launch my podcast that I'm going to get that. And honestly, that's something that I can't typically buy just in ads that I put up on Google or Facebook or anything else. This relationship that is being built right now, this authenticity, hopefully your audience is seeing this and thinking, well, Marco had a really good conversation with Mathew, hopefully. And now somebody thinking about podcasting might think, oh, there was that guy Mathew who Marco was talking to. I really liked the conversation they had, right? You are doing me a huge favor by us having a great conversation about what it is that I do. So yes, guesting is something that not only someone who has content looking to grow should be thinking about, but even folks who are just thinking about getting into the content game should be starting here, should be starting by putting themselves on other people's show that already have that audience, that authenticity, that relationship built up, because it's a huge advantage for you.
Folks, we'll be right back. We're going to have more questions from Mathew, especially about his new digital tool on how to network better and how to get your story quickly in the hands of somebody else when you're in person at events, networking, etc. We'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
You just heard from automationbooster.com. Folks, if you're in business for yourself and you don't have a CRM, a customer relations management platform working for you day and night, you need to look at automationbooster.com. I've been an internet marketer since 1996, and I've never seen a platform like ours with Automation Booster where we make it all under one roof, incredibly affordable to help you build your sales funnels, communicate with your clients, your inbound, your outbound marketing for email, texting, voicemail, broadcasting. We include hundreds of templates that include the Marketing Boost incentives and with exact examples and a blueprint on how you can use the Marketing Boost incentives to engage your clients, generate leads, close sales, etc. And we provide you the whole platform for automation with automationbooster.com. So go check that out. You'll be amazed at how affordable it is to set up a proper automated platform for email, texting, voicemail, broadcasting, communications with your clients, nurturing your prospects into customers. Check out Automation Booster. We're back here with Mathew Passy, and I'm really interested in hearing more about your new tool, Contap, and what inspired it first, and how is it helping content creators and entrepreneurs bridge offline with online connections?
Sure. Actually, it's funny the way that it got started. So when I sold my podcasting business, my partner and I had actually already started the studio, and the studio would have been competitive, and so I actually had to sell my interest and had to step away from the studio for a few years. But my partner who was running it, I remember visiting him, just hanging out, seeing what's going on, and he had one of these table stands that said, tap here to leave a Google review. And that's what you did. You tapped your phone to it and it took you to the Google review page for Sweet Recording. And it was an easy way for my partner to get people to review the studio on Google, which is, great for your SEO and social proof and whatnot. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, well, if it could do that, what else can it tap to? And so right around the same time that we had this conversation, Podcast Movement, the largest podcast conference, they were doing this like traveling tour and doing various meetups in various cities, and they were coming to Philadelphia. So we said, what if we got ourselves some NFC devices? We put on these rubber bracelets that kind of looked like Apple Watches, but they were just pure rubber bracelets. And we programmed them to connect to our podcasts. And we called them podcast beacons. And we went, this way we were having a conversation with someone and they said, oh, what's your podcast? Funny you should ask. Tap here. And they would tap and they can go right to my show on Apple or Spotify, or in my case, I would take them to my homepage that had the player and all the different things going on there. So we quickly realized, okay, there's some there, right? There is something interesting about being able to take somebody who you meet in person to your digital properties. We also quickly realized that only thinking about podcasters was extremely limiting of what this device can do. So we did a little bit of work, we did some reconfiguration, and we rebranded, and now we're calling it Contap. It's a combination of control and tap and connect and tap. It's got a couple of meanings in there. But so like this is one of our Contap stickers. If you're looking at your screen right now, and on here, what you have is a little symbol for the NFC. You have a QR code that anybody can scan. And then below here is a URL. And all three of these URLs will take you to the same thing. And if I'm allowed to, I can actually share my screen and I will actually go ahead and show folks what that looks like. So when somebody were to tap one of my Contap devices for the first time, they'd register. But then the second time somebody taps and I registered, they get taken to a profile page. So this is my profile page. It's got my picture, my name, a little profile, and then below are all these links to all the things that I'm promoting in my life. We have a creator pack for Contap that we're pushing, the website itself. We're actually getting ready to relaunch the platform with great new features. We've got custom podcast solutions. I've got podcasting tech. I've got a YouTube video and a contact card that can be downloaded, as well as all of my social links. So with one simple tap, I can show somebody all the different things that are important to me, and they've got it ready to go. Now, the cool thing about this platform is that, one, I can have multiple products. So under my profile, I've got a sticker and a couple of bracelets and a key fob, and I keep losing one, so I have another key fob on there. And all of these devices can be updated at one time. So if I decide, oh, you know what, we're done with custom podcast solutions, let's get rid of that and put in a link to Suite Recording instead, I can do that. And all these devices and products that I have out in the world, they're going to update and take people to this new landing page as well. What's also nice is we have analytics that allow you to see, well, which one of my products are getting the most traction. And so when I look at my analytics, I could tell you in April, I was at a conference and I decided to put one of our little buttons, this little Contap sticker, right on my name tag. So while I was at the conference, that's what everybody was tapping. So you could see where, in the trend lines, it's mostly my default fob, but right in April, oh, look at that sticker doing great. So I can kind of have like a heat map of what products are getting me the most taps. But the best feature, my favorite feature of the platform, is we have this thing called the redirect. And so we have all these different links on our page, right? I do a lot of things: Contap, Suite Recording, custom podcast solution, podcasting tech, the whole thing. But if I'm going to a networking event specifically where I know I'm only going to be promoting the podcast, well, what I can do is I can go in here to the redirect, I can select this link that's already on my page and I hit enable. And now the next time somebody taps on any one of the devices that I have tied to my profile, instead of going to that profile page, I'm taking them straight to the property that I want them to go on. And so again, we've been thinking about this for us as podcasters with small businesses. But imagine having a platform like this, you have a lot of business owners. Imagine having like one of these stickers, by the register or on the outside of your store when you're not there. Or imagine you're a realtor putting up lawn signs and you're applying these little stickers on here and you've got the NFC in there. And now every time you have a new home to sell, let's say, you just go to your profile page and you change out, which is the home that I want to promote this week. All right, that one moves up to the top. Or you know what? We have this one home that everybody is focusing on selling. So forget the profile page. Let's just have everybody, all these things promote this one product or this one property that's most important to us. And so with just a couple of taps on my phone or my computer, I have changed the targeting market or the market target. I think that's the right way to say it. Either way, I've changed where I'm taking people who are checking out these products that I have either on me or out there in the world. And so, it's great for content creators because we have this ridiculous dance of, oh, you're on YouTube? What's your channel? It's blah, blah, blah. Let me search that up. Did it come up? Nah. Is this the right one? Nope. Same. Blah, blah, blah. Now I can just say, tap this, and I know you're going to me and you're finding my stuff. But also, you could be in event space.
Your platform includes this back end of setting up the profile and the links that you provide in there, in addition to the device,
the tappability and the QR code. Yep, all that is built into it. We have a free version which would get you 3 of these links and the 3 social icons down here. So even that's great for promoting a few things. But yeah, for premium, then you get all these features, the redirect, the analytics, the additional products. And we have lots of other features on the way that we are programming right now. I want to tell you about all of them, but I know we only have an hour.
Sure. So the affiliate link, so I guess you can earn income as well by sharing this with others when people come into your page or what have you, or...
Yeah. So if you go to the affiliate link area and you sign up for the program and you put your affiliate link in here, now when somebody goes to your profile page, if they're looking at it on their phone, they check it out, they go to the bottom, they see that Contap icon, right? Powered by Contap. And instead of us getting credit for sending someone, you would get credit for somebody who signs up or buys one of the products.
Cool. Another passive income.
Well, and it gets better from there, but I don't know if we have time, but yeah, we have lots of ideas to help people who think this is a good idea and want to specialize it for what they do. They should talk to us because we are very open to creating partnerships that allow people to really, use this the way that works best for them in their industry.
I want to know more about that as soon as we come back, because I do trade shows, I go to events, I'm a networker for multiple businesses that I own as well. But we'll be right back for more questions from Matthew. Don't go away.
In today's business world, your reputation is everything, but managing it can be overwhelming. That's where Trust by Reviews comes in. Trust by Reviews is the only AI-powered review software designed specifically for local businesses, simplifying the process of collecting, managing, and leveraging customer feedback to boost your brand's credibility and drive growth. Monitor reviews across more than 200 leading sites from a single dashboard and transform your best reviews into compelling social media posts with just one click. Showcase new reviews directly on your website, turning first-time visitors into repeat customers by highlighting your 5-star feedback. Plus, encourage positive feedback by offering rewards like hotel savings cards, powered by marketingboost.com, adding value to your customer interactions. Elevate your business today with Trust by Reviews, the all-in-one solution to build your reputation, grow revenue, and deliver exceptional customer experiences. Visit trustbyreviews.com to learn more.
You just heard from my newest program that I'm most excited about. It's coming up here very soon. We're still in beta mode, and it's trustbyreviews.com. Trustbyreviews.com. Folks, we're going to revolutionize how you can solicit and acquire a constant flow of testimonials, reviews, video reviews, and control your online reputation. It's kind of a private format to generate the honest feedback. And then if it's negative for some reason, we give you a control time, 72 hours to be contacting that client of yours to try to resolve the problem before the negative review is published live. And then if they're positive, 3, 4, 5-star reviews, we're going to include Marketing Boost incentives to reward your client if they do something like go the extra mile and film you a selfie testimonial video of their review, of their opinion of your business, or publish what they wrote in multiple third-party review sites so you can get that same review published on Google, Facebook, Yelp, Trustpilot, SiteJabber, Shopper Approved, etc. When you get these reviews popping up on multiple third-party review sites, guess what? SEO, Google is going to be forced to kind of push those. And when people search your name, your brand, you'll have all these third-party review sites popping up and giving you the credibility, the social proof you need. Check out trustbyreviews.com. By the time you see this video live, we should be live and open for business. So check out trustbyreviews.com. Literally, it's going to change how you generate reviews. And if you're not generating them now consistently, you know you need it. So go check it out. Mathew, I'm back with you. And I have gone to trade shows and events, and I have published or generated my own badge around, you go to these networking events or business events, and you get a, what do they call it? I forget the thing you wrap around your neck and you've got your badge
lanyards or name tag. Yeah.
Yeah, lanyard, name tag, and what have you. I usually create my own before I get to the event, where I have my own image, my logo of the brand that I'm promoting, and I've got my own QR code. And when we're talking about, meeting me or doing business with me or whatever, instead of handing them a physical card anymore that they're going to probably throw away or lose, I'm asking them to hit my QR code and get my contact information and watch them load it to their phone right then and there. Your product seems to be an elevation of that to another level. And the cool factor of that, it's a little digital thing you wear around your keychain or around your neck or what have you, or pull out the card that you showed us on the screen and people can tap it. So tell me how that works. They can either tap it or QR code it. And if they tap it, what happens exactly? It can go to, as you said, directly to a website or directly to the profile page where they can download your contact to their phone. Is that what I'm understanding as well?
Yeah. So the first time you ever tap on one of these devices, you're taken to a registration link. But just to kind of show you, when I put my phone, you see this pop up right there?
Yeah.
That is basically engaging the link on this device. It's the same thing that would happen if you went to the QR code. So the first time that you use it, it'll ask you to register. So you give your name, email, and a password, and then you create this account, this profile page. Once you've created that profile page, the next time somebody engages with this device, whether they scan it, tap it, or just go to the URL itself, now they're going to your profile page that you've created, right? They're going to that Linktree-like page with all the different links, with an embedded video player, with a downloadable contact card that you can have in there, with all of your social links. Or if, let's say, you're at an event and you're specifically pushing, one of your new products that you've been talking about, that's being advertised during the show, you can use the redirect and say, okay, while I'm at the show, I'm only pushing Marketing Boost. So forget the profile page, forget the V card, forget all that other stuff. I'm going to use my redirect. I'm going to set it for Marketing Boost landing page. And now anytime somebody taps or scans this card, that's where they're going to go to directly. And the next day you might be like, oh, I forgot. I'm going to an event and we're going to push the review product.
Trust by reviews. Yeah.
Trust by reviews. So now I'm going to go to my phone. I'm going to quickly change the redirect to go to trust by reviews. And that's it. You're ready to go. So for someone like yourself who, these comes in many different form factors. We can do a business card, a table stand. But for someone like yourself, right, this little key fob, I would just hang that around my lanyard and it's ready to be tapped wherever you go. Now, this one doesn't have the QR code on it. We're working on future versions that do. But, you could also just take this sticker, apply it to your lanyard, or put it on the back of your phone, on your computer. Maybe you carry around, a portfolio or a notepad, right? Just have it there, and it's always accessible to you.
I got a question for you, which ties into my trust by reviews. So if I own a brick and mortar business, for example, or restaurant, or I've got a bunch of plumbers that go to do services, and I want to be able to incentivize and reward my staff for getting a constant flow of reviews. Can the each of those cards with that profile page give credit to? In other words, should be able to track that this review came from this link from this employee, so I could be tracking the source of the review.
So right now, the way we would do that is if you were to give one of these products to each of your employees, I would label these products. So, the first time you add it to your dashboard, you can give it whatever name you want. This is sticker 1, sticker 2, Josh's sticker, Timmy's sticker, Ann's sticker, whatever you want. And so you would be able to kind of look at the analytics and say, oh, I see Josh is out there getting hundreds of taps and got about 5 or 6. So you can be like, Ann, we need to do a little bit more promotion. Or congratulations, Josh, you're amazing. Thank you for doing all that work. Future iterations of the platform, though, we're actually hoping to have like an enterprise model where you run the main account, and the main account can control the branding. So the profile page looks the same for everybody. And it can even allow you to say on that branding page, there are 5 links that we control. The company is always going to put, I'll use a better example, but let's say you're a realtor, right? You're one of these real estate companies and you've got hundreds of realtors under your umbrella. The company is going to sign up for a profile, give all their realtors one of these Contap devices and profiles, and the realtor company is going to say, all right, on your profile page, there are going to be 5 links that we control. And that's going to be, our top listing, how to reach out to us, referral codes, blah, blah, blah. The other links are going to be controlled by the realtor themselves. So on their profile page, they can say, oh, you know what? I have this house this week that I want to show off. I have, this community resource that I want to share with people when I see them. I do a podcast on the side, so I'm going to put that on my profile page. So it's like a combination of what the company is pushing as well as what the person individually has going on. So that'll be one thing. But at the same time, the company's also going to be able to say, okay, everyone, it is, our biggest, event of the day. And I know you have your personal stuff, but everybody's redirecting to whatever, the company thing is. And so you will have control, but you'll also be able to give your employees and your team leverage to be able to use this powerful tool, both to promote what the company thinks is important, as well as what the individual thinks is important. So in that case, yeah, you can give people their own UTM coded link and say, this is your link to push, Marketing Boost. And so if Timmy's actually getting 100 links, 100 taps, but he only got one, click on the actual link that sends people to Marketing Boost with his UTM code, you can be like, oh, okay, maybe he's fudging the numbers a little bit. Whereas Anne, she only got 5 taps, but out of those 5 taps, 3 people signed up using her UTM code. You can be like, I see. She's actually being way more efficient. Let's talk to her about what works.
Right. All right. Love it. And especially for the way I visualize that for a lot of brick and mortar businesses is to I see so many businesses. By the way, hear me out here. If you're a brick and mortar business and you don't have a solid way to acquire the contact information of the person that walked into your business, they walk in, they buy something, they walk out. You don't know who they are. You might have their credit card, but you don't have the credit card information either. That belongs to Visa. So you've got nothing, and you're not building a database of who is coming into your business and out. And for that, you need something like this could help solve that. You need a way to be able to have your entire staff, your front desk, your point of sale, your credit, your cash register location, soliciting people to take action, scan that card, tap it, whatever, it register. And you could use marketing boost incentives. Hey, register to win 5 nights in Cancun, and give us a review and yada yada. And the point is, you're building your database that you own, that you could put into a platform like Automation Booster or whatever CRM you already have, and start emailing, texting, reminding them to come back to your store for Tuesday night special or what have you. But if you don't have a list, you're not monetizing the folks that are walking in and out of your business. And I'm sure plenty of you are in the same boat. You've been to a business, been to a restaurant. Most of them do nothing to try to attract your attention, and those that do a poor job of it to give you to ask you or even request for you to give up your private information. So you got to ask. If you ask, you might get it. So you got to have good ways to do it. Matthew, that has been powerful. I like that tool. What kind of investment is it? If you're willing to share some of that, what's it cost to get some of those devices, and how big of an investment is it?
So if you just want like an individual device, like you're a retail user, you just want to get a key fob, they're 20, the stickers, 5. We can do custom business cards for 50, and we have a really nice silicone bracelet for 35. We also, as you kind of saw on my profile when I was showing it earlier, we have what we call our creator pack. So that will give you the bracelet, the button, the little round sticker, a key fob, and one of those flat stickers with everything on it. We were doing 79, but I will make sure that there's a code for your listeners so they can get it for 49.
Cool. So that in the show notes below, we will have the links where you can find Matthew if you're looking for ideas on. Well, tell us, Matthew, about where they can. Obviously the show notes will be down below, but they can reach out to you for advice and help on setting up their podcast, everything from video to remote working there and so forth. Plus, this new technology tool to help turn face-to-face contacts, trade show prospects, in-person traffic to your business, your brick and mortar business. This type of tool can be a new, cool technology way to help grab prospects and get them from in person to in your digital database.
Absolutely. I mean, truthfully, the best way is right now, suiterecording.com, suite, SUITE, like an office suite. If you go to Suite Recording, obviously all of our podcast and content creation services are listed right there. But in the upper right corner, you'll also see a link that will take you to Contap, and you can check out the products that we have over there, order one for yourself. And also, keep in mind, again, we're not just trying to sell Contap. We are already talking to a few folks who we are basically they're licensing the technology. So they're going to come up with their own branded version of the key fob, of the bracelet, of some other products that they think are more appropriate for their audience. They're going to call it what they want to call it. They're going to sell it at the price that they want to sell it at. And we're basically just going to supply the technology and the infrastructure for them to do it. So if you think that this is an interesting product, and not only do you think you would want one, but that you could, sell these to people, please reach out, because we're opening up this reseller program, and it's a really easy way to make some good money.
Sweet. The links are down below in the show notes. Folks, if you like the content we brought you today, first, give us a like. Don't make sure you subscribe to the show, and do me a huge favor if you would, grab the link to this and share it with another entrepreneur. If you do me that huge favor, I would be eternally grateful. Love all of you that spent the time and invested the time to listen to us today. So thank you again. Matthew, do you have any final words of wisdoms to the wannabe or struggling entrepreneur, or those that are kicking ass, that to keep on moving and growing faster?
I mean, if you love what you're doing, if you enjoy talking about it, if you just wake up in the morning bursting with excitement to share value about the things that are important to you, then you can't go wrong. Just, keep pushing, keep pressing, don't give up. And if you're getting stuck along the way and you have other questions, myself or my partner or other folks on our team, we are here to help and would be delighted to do so. And just wanted to thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you, Matthew. One last comment I've got. If you're a Marketing Boost user, member, and having some successes that you're really kicking some ass with, I want to hear about it. I love to feature Marketing Boost success stories. We've done hundreds of those as well over time. But I'm always looking for the next Marketing Boost success story, how you're using these incentives, how you've generated more leads, closed more sales, or rewarded clients in loyalty programs, etc., on how Marketing Boost is helping you. If you do, reach out to me. Again, the show notes are down below to get to apply to be on our show, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. Thank you. Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.